I hate wasting free content.
That's what she said.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hello, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how the hell you been, my friend?
Let's not talk about me.
Fair.
How are you?
Well, let me get these and then I'll tell you because this is an involved story. Snubber, thank you so much. You were tagged on Twitter in 2 stupid Guardian articles about cats. One about healthy vegan cats and one about how you shouldn't be a pet owner, eat the bugs. And then he sends a second one says shouldn't be a pet owner because originally it said should. Thank you so much for both of those. Yeah, I looked through those articles and the people who wrote those are retarded, especially the one about cats. Now it actually says that there's no reason that cats have to eat a meat diet. Well, no, in the modern world where we can put additives into foods, yeah, you can fake food for cats if you really want to, or you could just feed them meat. They're little carnivores. Do they occasionally eat grass and stuff? Sure, but they can't live on it.
Yeah, I have a video about this actually.
Do you?
Yeah, this came up in my newsfeed the other day, which is really weird that you bring it up.
While you're pulling that up, the other article was about how we shouldn't have pets anymore. And it's a really weird article because the whole notion of it is that we shouldn't have pets because we just do it for us. And then it talks about all of this shit we do for pets, including things like Uber Eats. They have Uber. It's not Chinese. Uber Pets, which is where you can take your pets in an Uber. How jobs and apartments and everybody, hey, we take pets because everybody has pets now, and talks about just how much people dote on their pets and like, but they only do it for themselves. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, if aliens came down and they saw people interacting with cats, they would think the cats are the leaders.
Oh, well, they are.
Yeah, just ask one.
They are. Yeah, my son said a friend of his just had that experience where they didn't even want a cat, and then suddenly they find themselves waking up and going to bed at the arbitrary will of a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it is.
You have to obey the law of zoomies, and cats get the zoomies.
Indeed. Look, as a rather cripple man, Jack, it's not always easy to give Phoebe what she wants, but you know what Phoebe always gets?
Whatever she wants.
What she wants, yeah. So did you find that video? Or are you still looking?
Yeah, I'm waiting on my fucking browser to switch tabs.
I'm going to tell you about my day.
Okay.
So I wake up this morning, I'm sitting here and I'm, doing my things and taking some medicines and like, man, I need to take some Motrin. And I pour some into my hand. It's actually generic ibuprofen. It's not Motrin. It's just what I've always called it because that was the commercial name at first.
Yeah.
And I pour 4 of them into my hand. I'm like, wait a minute. Haven't I already taken these? And then I had a moment of fear, Jack.
Uh-oh.
Because I realized I had not taken those. Rewind about 15 minutes earlier. Now, as a consequence of many of the medicines that I take, Jack, how do I put this in family-friendly terms? I'm not as regular as one should be. You get what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
And so occasionally I have to take something that helps me maintain that. For any of you wondering for specifics, I've gone a whole week without. That's all I'm saying. And to keep from going through that horror again, occasionally I take, let's call them supplements. Now, my Motrin, Jack, they're these little orangish red pills.
Uh-huh.
The supplements are a dark orangish red pill.
Oh.
The supplements I'm supposed to take no more than 2 at a time. The Motrin I take 4 at a time. And my brain completely confused them. So I took double the recommended amount of those, and I've been paying for it since.
So what you're saying is I may be taking over for a little bit here.
There may be a time where I have to be like, I'll be back. Yeah.
I got poop.
If I just disappear and it's really quiet, please start talking.
Ah, fair enough. By the way, it's Todd's birthday.
It is indeed Todd's birthday. Todd, on the back of that story, happy birthday to you. This one is for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday, dear
birthday, dear
Todd.
Todd.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy birthday. Hope you have a good one. Really, really do.
Yes.
So what you're saying is you're glad we don't have the COVID TP shortage right now. I'm saying that they need to come up with a softer toilet paper is what I'm saying. Good.
Oh,
Fucking
there are a
God.
lot of soft toilet papers out there.
No, there becomes a time in your life where you're like, there is no toilet paper soft enough.
Yeah, it depends on how bad of a shit it is. So yeah, I'll give you that.
So anyway, yeah, that was how my day went.
Oh,
I mean, otherwise I was fine. I had a good day. Otherwise, that's just a big otherwise to get over.
oh
If you
yeah.
get my drift.
Well, I did a lot of running around today, and my dad's home because the insurance didn't want to pay to put him in the home for a week, so he's got to do all his physical therapy stuff at home. So yeah, so I've been running around. I had to go get him groceries and go pay bills and all this shit. I got zero sleep. I've been up for almost 37 hours now. Good times.
Good times indeed. 1 ply or 2, 2 ply with quilting, and it's still not enough.
Oh,
Spud Gun says, "Be a real man. Wipe with sandpaper." I basically feel like I am. Let's get off that subject because that's kind of gross, and let's get into another gross thing. Just what I read on the screen. My dog is vegetarian by choice. No dog is vegetarian by choice.
oh, just wait. She's gonna
Dogs are
prove it.
scavengers.
No, she's gonna prove it.
Fuck.
You will be convinced by the end of this video.
I feel like I probably won't be.
Ah, that's your
All right.
preconceived white supremacist notions.
Just making sure we're up as loud as we can go. Here we go with vegetarian doggy.
Well, some of you just don't believe that my dog's a vegetarian. We're gonna see which one she likes. I don't force her to eat her salad. We have this really gross beef, and then I have this delicious green salad. So this is Bonnie. She is my little vegetarian. Okay. Now, no. Well, some of you just
Wait. We got to watch that again.
don't believe that my dog's a vegetarian. We're gonna see which one she likes. I don't force her to eat her salad.
I've seen the end of this video, sweetheart. I've seen the end of this video, and I feel like you're a liar.
Little bit.
We have this really gross beef, and then I have this delicious green salad. So this is Bonnie. She is my little vegetarian. Okay. Now,
Immediately just goes for the biggest possible bite.
My little vegetarian, and you know what? This is perfect. No, lady, no, sorry, it's Bonnie. Not a vegetarian.
Yes.
She's a dog.
Very much a meatitarian.
They
look,
are-
I don't know if this is real or fake. I don't fucking care. It's hilarious.
Those are carnivorous scavengers, is what they are. So yeah, doggies will eat meat. And any of those people, no, actually, you can raise it. Vegan Gains did that shit. You can raise a dog without giving him meat. No, you can't. You'll kill him.
Yeah, which he almost did to that poor dog.
He did. Same thing with cats. If you try feeding them a vegan diet, that article makes very clear it's got to be with supplements in the food. Yeah. If you just tried feeding them a vegetarian diet, you're going to kill the cat. They need massive amounts of protein. You know the best way to get really good protein in an animal?
Meat.
You know what the animals eat in the wild, Jack? Each other.
Meat. Oh yeah. I
So-
thought there were meat trees. My bad.
No, there's no such thing.
You don't know that.
I do actually.
Oh, fair enough.
Meat comes from animals. So just the way it happens.
Well,
Stop
we're
trying to-
animals.
Stop trying to put your weird human stupid shit on your animals, all right?
Look, my trans species dog does not appreciate that.
It's
Sure,
bad
he
enough.
still meows, but he's a dog.
It's bad enough that some of y'all dress your animals, and I'm giving you an excuse or an exemption because Rico looks cute all dressed up.
Yeah, and I don't do it. She
Uh,
dresses him up.
but stop trying to feed them, human centric vegetarian diets because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. So you can't blame me for Rico because that's not my dog.
True.
So he's just adorable. I was playing with him today. That dog is so fucking funny. He was bored, so he starts like trying to nip at me. So I start trying to grab his tail, and he could intercept my hand every time, no matter how fast I got. It turned into this weird game. Even after I've stopped playing, he still thinks we're playing.
Oh, yeah.
So every time I move my hand, he's like, "Ha ha, I've got you."
I actually have to give Phoebe a signal when we're done. I kiss her on the top of the head, and that's how she knows playtime's over.
Oh, that's a good way to get scratched in the face.
No, she does not scratch my face.
Oh.
Yeah. Usually we'll be playing like, okay, playtime's over, and I'll put my hands back, and I just reach out and kisses, and she's like, all right, and then that's the end of playtime.
Oh, Rico doesn't take those cues because anytime you tell him no, he just barks at you, which is sort of like his version of "fuck you." I do what I want, and then he goes back to whatever he was doing, and you really can't get him to stop. Oh, thank you, Evolved Potato. You can feed cats and dogs non-meat diets with lots of pills and supplements so they can actually survive, or you could not be an asshole and give them meat because they're mainly carnivores.
And they like it.
Yeah, like Rico was the first dog I had ever been around that really enjoyed eating vegetables. But he still eats meat. He gets one of those like Beneful things, like with fresh meat in it, every night. So he still gets meat. Plus, I slip him like the little treats all the time.
Let me get this and Dark Resurrect. Thanks so much for that. Feminist $12. I don't understand these people. A creature's teeth determine what food they eat. Enlarged canines and majority incisors means meat eaters. It's simple biology. Oh, wait, these people reject biology 100%.
Yeah.
100. I've told you guys, the cat that I have is so fucking weird. She likes lettuce. She likes lettuce. She doesn't survive on lettuce.
Yeah.
She likes grass. She doesn't survive on it. Ah, fucking idiots.
People are dumb.
They're really dumb, and they're harming these animals. And no, it's for the good of do you know why they're doing this, Jack?
Because they're stupid and they want to put their weird stuff on the animals.
Yes, but not in that general sense. There's a specific reason for it. It's the same thing with the pet ownership one, or the second article. You shouldn't own pets because you're just not doing the whole reason behind both of those. Global warming, environmental bullshit. Yes, Dark Resurrect nailed it. Environmental bullshit. It takes so much land and so much resources to raise animals to feed to cats and dogs. That is what it's all about. 100%.
That's how you get Planet of the Apes. You know, I'm just saying. Like in the movies, there was a plague that wiped out all the cats and dogs, and people kept apes as pets. It doesn't make sense to me either. But cool premise. In this case, they're just purposely trying to wipe them out. Then we're gonna have talking monkeys trying to hunt us down until some dude named Taylor crash lands from the past and blows it up with an A-bomb. So the psychic people that live underground don't murder everybody. Yeah, this is how the world falls apart. Fucking hippies.
It is literally just more of the global warming environmental bullshit agenda. And good God, did you watch the Tucker Carlson from today?
No.
I would show it on here, but the guy, it's Argentina. There's a guy running for president who he's a populist. He's not a politician. He's actually a businessman. And people are loving him. You know why? Because Argentina is the unfortunate beneficiary of socialism, and their money is so fucking worthless that it actually pays better not to go to work.
Well, it is Argentina, so
Their economy has collapsed. This guy is like, I'll fix it. And you know how he says he's going to fix it? Get rid of socialism.
Oh,
get rid of socialism. Reprivatize everything. And Tucker asked him about global warming and communism because this guy fucking hates socialism and communism. He actually says,
already.
Yeah. At one point, he actually says all socialists have blood on their hands. I'm like, yes, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But if you guys get a chance, it's over on the YouTube's, on Twitter. I don't know if it's on YouTube. I don't know if he moves his stuff over there or not.
I doubt he does, but I'm sure somebody does.
It's a really interesting interview, but we're not going to watch it because the Argentinian politician there, he doesn't speak English, so you have to read the subtitles for everything.
Oh, that could get boring for the audience.
To do a show like this.
Yeah.
But it is worth it. And the guy, he even calls out the fucking Pope, dude.
Nice. Well, this Pope has angered quite a lot of Catholics.
He calls out the Pope for abortion and supporting communist dictators.
That sounds right.
He says he absolutely will not do any business with China or any communist country.
Dude, is this guy going to run for election here? Because
I know, right? For him. I like, dude, other than needing to brush your hair, I really like you.
Hey, he doesn't need to brush his hair if he can get all that shit accomplished. He could have his hair however he wants.
And I can't remember if the elections are next week or next month, but either way, he's winning in the polls right now.
Oh, good. Good for him.
Backed mostly by young people who have nothing to do because their country's so fucking poor.
Yeah. Oh, I get it, man. Communism and socialism ruin everything. It's a secular religion stain on the world. Fucking Marx has so much to answer for. I hope he's burning in hell.
No. It just hasn't been tried yet. Not the right way.
Not the real way. Not the way we do it. Ugh.
If Bob Potato says he could have a reverse mohawk and I'd still vote for him. If I was in Argentina, my vote would already be cast for this guy. Absolutely. Compared to what else they're talking about, more of the same. Tucker, he goes and exchanges $100 bill for what is it? The Argentinian peso. And he walks out with like 9 stacks of bills.
Wow.
Yeah. For $100. That's how fucked their currency is right now.
So that's very Weimar Republic sounding.
Yeah, very Zimbabwean. I'm not sure which way you'd say that.
I picked up one of those $1 billion bills off of.
Oh, did you?
Or somebody gave it to me. I don't remember. Yeah, but I got a couple of them floating around. So it's just one of those things you want to look at and remind yourself that could happen anywhere.
Yeah, it could happen here. And if they don't stop spending money that they don't have, it's going to happen here.
Oh, come now.
But don't worry.
It can't happen here.
Don't worry. Joseph Biden's on it, you guys. Holy shit. Look, we're going to get to the main topic, me fucking with feminists today, which, by the way, was funny as fuck. I had a great time with it. I hope you guys enjoyed it who got to read it. But there's a deeper point behind all of that anyway. We'll get to that, but we need to talk about our president. Jack, do you have that clip?
I do. Real quick, though. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. I don't understand how true Catholics even listen to the Pope. He is an out-and-out communist and is preaching things antithetical to Catholic core beliefs. A couple of my Catholic friends have been bitching about him because, they hate him.
Yeah.
They think he's just a communist.
He's as Catholic as Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm not Catholic, so I don't really know that much about the doctrine, but it does sound very much like he is preaching against all the stuff that we have heard from previous popes.
Let me get these two things real quick and hold on to that thought against the communist doctrine. Keldrick, thank you. Hell is probably a communist utopia. That's why people gets sent there instead of anywhere else because what could possibly be worse than a communist utopia? Fair point. And
Yeah,
Retro, thank you so very much, my friend. Cats will eat you if you die alone. No, 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 no. They'll wait till you mold over and then they'll eat the mold because they're vegetarians.
Yeah, they'll totally eat your flesh. Probably if you weren't dead yet, but pretty close, they'd be like, I'm gonna test them out.
So this guy, I wish I could remember his name. This guy down there in Argentina. One of the reasons he doesn't like the Pope, and he's very explicit on this stuff, is because he's embraced social justice. He also blames social justice as a measure of communism for being part of the problem in his country.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because social justice is just repackaged socialism.
It's exactly
Which-
what it is.
Yeah, and it's anti-religious, it's anti-freedom, it's anti-individuality, it's against all of the stuff that we used to stand for.
Seriously, you should watch this. You'd really like this guy.
Oh yeah, I would have. I just didn't have time today. I was running around doing errands and helping out my folks. So I have not, like I said, I haven't slept in a long time. So I'm really fucking tired. And I'm probably not going to sleep for another 12 hours.
That blows, dude.
Yeah, but I'm not going to get started on how somebody ditched me who was supposed to be helping out, just up and vanished for 8 hours. Somebody like my sister.
Oh, damn.
In case she's listening. Because she doesn't believe I have a job.
Social justice is socialism wrapped in civil rights. It's a lie and will destroy your country. Yeah, basically. And they bring up an example. They instituted a ministry of women down there. A ministry of women.
Ministry of women.
Yeah.
How many more ways could that sound sinister?
And he asked him, he goes, well, Tucker asked him, like, well, what do they do? And he goes, nothing. Because the only thing they've done is come up with songs.
Yeah, that sounds right. A bunch of women sitting around complaining, not doing anything. It's like watching Naked and Afraid, where there's like the man and the woman out, and she's just sitting there whining about how much it sucks, and he's trying to scavenge some stuff to loot and make useful.
Yeah. It's he also, because apparently they have the wage gap down there too, and he brings up the same shit we bring up here. Like when you account for personal choice, there's no fucking wage gap.
Yeah.
There's just not. If women, because he talks about the glass ceiling, because that's how they got this whole ministry in there. The women have the glass ceiling. Shut up. No, they don't. It's personal choices they tend to make. Does that mean every woman who doesn't get ahead didn't try to? No. Some of them are talentless bitches who don't deserve to get ahead. Just like the men who don't get ahead.
Yeah, and some of them just don't swallow.
Yeah. All right. So our president, he decided to give a speech today.
Is that what we really want to call it, a speech?
I don't know what the fuck to call this thing.
Rambly mess?
I don't know who decided to let him do it all off the cuff with just bullet points, because he clearly did this with just bullet points.
Yeah.
A mumble. That's what we should call it. He gave a mumble today.
Yeah. Bidenomics.
At one point, he's trying to make up the word maganomics, but he keeps calling it meganomics.
Yeah. Although meganomics sounds way cooler because it sounds like Mega Man is behind it.
Yeah.
If Mega Man's doing it, it's probably pretty awesome.
It sounds like a Bond villain's plan. Meganomics.
It's gonna be the biggest nomics ever.
The best. It's huge. Anyway, so
I think Trump should adopt meganomics.
Yeah, he starts off by telling us that Bidenomics, that was something that they said is a bad thing, and we've decided it's not going to be a bad thing. You guys are the ones who pushed the whole idea of Bidenomics. Seriously. Nobody else was running around saying that shit until you guys started beating your chests about how great you've done with Bidenomics. Yeah, there was a whole lot of just mumbly mess to this. But among the mumbly mess was this gem. Oh, Mr. Biden. Mr. Biden. Hang on. Doo-doo. I would watch the whole thing, but where I watched it, it had really bad audio. What I think I watched it through The Hill. It was their feed that I watched today. Plus I just don't know how much we could go. What the fuck did he just say? And keep it entertaining.
Yeah. I watched it on C-SPAN and the audio was shit.
And he did that thing again where every once in a while he just screams into the microphone.
Yeah.
Joe,
He did that a lot.
yelling into the microphone doesn't make you right. And it doesn't make you sound like an angry old man.
Yeah. He's going for dramatic and it comes off as like bitter old guy shouting
Get off my lawn. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
the other thing he did is over and over again, he would repeat himself, and it was on purpose.
yeah.
He'd be like, they did that. They did that. They wanted to take away some Social Security. They want to take away some of your Social Security. And literally just repeat the same thing over and over. This is one of those ones, you should watch it because it's your president, but I'm not recommending you watch this. I'm really not. Because I don't want to be responsible for you wasting your time. So we'll give you a clip instead, Jack. How about that?
Yeah. I'm dropping the link if you do want to watch it. He doesn't come out till like halfway through, so.
Yeah, they had like 4 or 5 other speakers. I saw a thing from The Hill that said Joe Biden jogged out. I was like, nope, no, he didn't.
No.
He barely shuffled out. What the fuck are you talking about? But they've got to keep up this thing because there's a new narrative, Jack. I don't know if you've seen it. It's that the only reason Republicans are coming after Biden for his age is because they have nothing else to come after him for. And it's all just made up shit. None of it's true. Now, I will remind you, as I reminded people on Twitter yesterday, the whole thing about Biden's age didn't start with Republicans. The whole thing with Biden's cognitive issues started with Bernie Sanders. That shit started with him in 2020. But now, like, oh, those damn Republicans. Just see what they did.
Well, when communists pounce, you just ignore it, right?
Indeed. Thank you.
Real quick,
let me get this. Thank you, Adebisi. Howdy, Monk. Can you see this? I can indeed. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, Jack. What were you saying?
Thank you, Adebisi. Howdy, Jack. You guys have to keep me up tonight. Doctor says I have to stay awake all night for my EEG to check out my brain tomorrow. You guys are my new therapy, so piss me off with the news. Well, we will do our best.
Yeah, and what Adebisi was getting at there, guys, if you don't do it in regular chat, but if you do super chat or donate to Streamlabs, please do it in caps. My eye is fucked, and if you want it read the best possible way, it needs to be in caps. If you're okay with me fucking it all up, that's fine. All right.
Kind of roll the dice, isn't it?
Just look at his face here. Before we even get to what he said, look at how he's lost.
Yeah. Well, what gets me is that at the end of the speech, he does the same thing. Somebody compared it to a Roomba, where he just sort of meanders a little bit.
Doesn't know where the fuck he's supposed to be going. Yeah. All right. So here we go.
We not only recovered all the jobs we lost during the pandemic, we've added millions more. We've seen record lows in unemployment, particularly, and I've focused on this my whole career, particularly for African Americans.
All right, stop. Right before this part, he's talking about how Donald Trump is one of only 2 people who've ever been president and lost jobs while they were president. Which is true, Jack. But that is because COVID and the shutdowns. Yes. That's where all the jobs went.
Oh, yeah. And he totally leaves that out several times.
Absolutely. The fact that we paid people more to stay home than to stay on the employment rolls never brought up by these people.
No, because that made a major impact. Also, thank you, Keldrick. I think the best possible way to make sure something is read right is to send it to Jack. Yeah, you got a better chance, but not 100% ever. No, not even 80%.
He makes sure to say we recovered all the jobs we lost for COVID, without mentioning that that's why Donald Trump lost those jobs.
Yeah. No, he
And
just
then
tries to make it sound like Trump sent all these jobs overseas.
he goes on to try to make it sound like we have the lowest black unemployment. Well, that he's worked on his whole life. His whole life, Jack.
Yeah.
When did the black unemployment go really, really good? Oh, yeah, under Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Same with Latino. The Asian one was the lowest ever recorded. But don't pay any attention to that because he lost the jobs. Yeah, because of COVID and you fuckers shutting everything down. Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt Magoo here. Let's get back.
Yeah. You got to back it up a little bit because there's some context there. Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Employment, particularly, and I've focused on this my whole career, particularly for African Americans and Hispanic workers and veterans. You know, the workers without high school diplomas.
You know, the workers without high school diplomas. He literally just said that blacks, Hispanics, and vets don't have high school diplomas.
Yep, that's your president, guys. Those are the ones he's been working for.
What a slap in the dick. No wonder he was looking at his watch while the corpses of the soldiers were coming by, because he totally doesn't have any respect for them. And oh my God, not only was that racist, it was a slap in the dick to all the military guys.
Yep, that is our president. The one who said that poor kids are almost as smart as white kids, or just as smart as white kids. I want to give him full credit when he said that minorities were stupid. Right? That's our president. But don't worry, guys. When he said that about them being just as smart as white kids, that was a slip. Well, how many of them do we have to have before it's not a slip anymore and he's just a racist piece of shit?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Donald Trump said that? What the headlines would be everywhere?
Absolutely.
Oh, God. Okay, I am going to recommend. Go watch at least part of that speech because it is fucking insane that is the president of the United States.
It's really sad because he is all over the place. He's talking about like prescription medication costs. Then he's talking about unions. He's just bouncing all over the place. There's
several points where clearly the audience is supposed to clap and there's just silence. The audience, which is a pro-Democrat audience, is not very pumped up for a speech that, with his talking points, if they'd been delivered properly, they should have been having to pause frequently for him to, wait for them to settle down.
Yeah.
Tyron, I thank you. Mr. Magoo is at least funny. Okay.
That's true.
If you watch Joe Biden and you can separate yourself from the fact that he's the leader of the free world, it is funny. It's just hard to get that separation because it's real life instead of a cartoon.
Yeah, because this is like, ha ha ha, we're all gonna die.
Yeah, this guy's in charge of things. Oh, man.
Real fast.
It's such a bad speech. Go ahead. I'm sorry, bud.
Thank you, Evolved Potato. Technically, Biden has worked to lower black unemployment his whole life. I mean, if they're in jail, they're technically not unemployed.
Fair.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Plus, that's a fair point.
Supports abortion, too, so...
He is very proud of that 94 crime bill, depending on what time of the campaign you're asking about.
Yeah, and don't bring up Hunter around that time.
Oh my God! You know what? I was going to move on, but we got to watch that other video now. Since you brought up, we got to watch him talk about his other son.
Yeah. Do you have that one, or do you want me to pull it?
You sent it to me, so yeah, I can grab it.
Oh, okay. I can't remember if that was the one. I don't remember what I send you half the time.
Yeah. So I don't want to preface this at all. We're gonna watch it together, y'all.
Former white.
All right. So, this is. I don't know if she's actually from NPR, but those are NPR microphones we see there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very curious. I mean, it does say NPR up here. It's just weird to have NPR be putting any kind of pressure on Joe. So I'm not
Wow.
trusting my eyes.
Starting to see a little bit more of that.
Did Monkey go to his specialist eye doctor? Oh, let me tell you a story about that. So yesterday I woke up, Jack,
Oh, that's
and
good.
my phone rang, and
Oh,
I
was it
see it's
an update about what you caused while you were sleeping?
no. It's
Oh.
about the eye doctor. That there was a hint because somebody just asked about it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Context clues. Gotcha.
Context clues, they're important. So I see that it's the eye doctor, the specialist. I answer the phone, and it's a robocall saying
Oh.
this is just to confirm your appointment for September 14th at 9:30 a.m. Like what?
A little late, huh?
Huh? And it says if you want to change appointment time, press 2. So I press 2 and they go, well, call the office. All right, fuck it. So I call the office. And I tell the lady, I'm like, I didn't even know an appointment was set up. She goes, wait, you had no idea? I'm like, no. And they come local every Monday, but my eye doctor really wants to get me in as soon as possible. So she's like, are you okay going to Grand Rapids, which is where their main office is? I'm like, sure, yeah. But I need just a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's a little bit of ways away.
Yeah, so she was able to set me up this coming Monday. It was still this coming Monday, closer to me by more than an hour. So it's not as fast as my doctor apparently wanted me to get in there, but I am going to see them this coming Monday. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah,
By the
good
way,
luck.
thank you to everybody who's sent well wishes about that shit. All right, we ready for this?
Yes and no.
Here's your president being asked about his business dealings.
Former White House aides of yours who tried to warn you about the potential conflicts of interest.
Nobody warned me about a potential conflict of interest.
All right, that is a bald-faced lie. That is a fucking lie. We know for a fact that the State Department was like, you should not be doing this shit. This looks bad. That's not a guess. That is known. But anyway, sorry. And if nobody warned you about conflicts of interest, why have you been so adamant that you had nothing to do with his business?
Yeah. And having been in office for as long as he has, he should know what a conflict of interest is.
Nobody warned me about that. And at the same time,
George Kent, the State Department official, testified that he raised it to you.
No,
and
he
your
didn't
staff,
say
to your
me.
staff.
He did not
To your
say-
staff. I stand corrected.
Never heard that once.
To your
Look how angry he is.
Bullshit, Joe. It was in the fucking media. It was all over the media when this shit started happening. And
Yeah,
then it
but-
got really quiet when he ran for president.
Look how aggressive and angry he was there.
Look up State Department worries about Joe Biden's deals with his son. The implications or even the optics of it.
Mm-hmm.
Articles from 2015.
Hate fact.
Nobody brought that up to me. No, don't. Mm-mm. And she's like, to your staff. Okay, no. Bullshit. To him. Don't let this fucking asshole get away with that. Anyhow, angry old man. He's got an excuse, though, Jack.
Yeah.
He's got an excuse.
staff, and their staff told him he has no bandwidth.
Well, my son was
family
dying. I
matters.
guess that's why he said it, because my son was on his deathbed.
You see, guys, it's not his fault he didn't get the memo that having business dealings with China and his son might look bad. His other son was dying.
Yeah, that's the guy was just picking on me because my kid was dying. So obviously this is some right wing pouncing.
It's look, Bo died. Bo died. Bo died. Yeah, we all get it. Bo died, but
You should feel sympathy for me because I said so.
look, I do feel bad for him that his son died. That's horrible. That has nothing to do with this situation at all.
Yeah. No, not everything has to do with Bo, dude.
Oh, it does if he needs an out, though.
It sure seems that way. He's more than willing to stand on the grave of a dead relative because he did that with his wife and daughter for years.
Oh yeah, until he got the son. Yeah. All right, Jack. Let's stop depressing people with our president, shall
Why stop now?
we? This dude, man, Jesus. And again, don't take my word for it, guys. Go look it up. There were articles printed in every major paper about this back when it was happening, when it first happened. You can go read about it where they're like, at the very least, this looks bad. There's no goddamn way Joe Biden didn't know how this at least looked. So bullshit. Bullshit. Not only that, the idea that, oh, his staff just, he had to, I do like that terminology. He didn't have the bandwidth because that just explains Joe Biden now in such a beautiful way. That man just does not have the bandwidth for what he's trying to do.
Yeah, sometimes when he's standing there trying to figure out how to get off stage, you can hear the dial-up modem sound.
Yeah. He's trying to download a movie on dial-up and it's just not working out very well for him. But the idea that nobody told him, nobody said that to me, bullshit. And if it's not such a big deal, if it's not a big deal, Joe, then why are you so adamant about this? Those two things don't make sense together. Remember, we just talked about a moment ago, Jack, context clues. Well, you were very adamant all through the election and all the way up until about 2 months ago that you had nothing to do with Hunter's business, nothing at all. And now suddenly it's like
nothing.
I mean, look, I wasn't directly involved. I wasn't the CEO.
I just talked to some people about the weather and helped them buy influence and played golf with them.
So yeah, anyway, God damn, I can't believe he's our president.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't been invaded yet. Because in the old times, the king
Haven't we?
looked like this. You'd have an army on your doorstep.
Haven't we been invaded though?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, unofficially we
Well,
have, but
Is an invasion if you invite them?
yeah, I think it still is. Because I mean, if you're selling out your country to get a bunch of people, did you see that there's a big wave of African migrants being
Yeah.
caught at the border?
What was it, Senegal?
Yeah, I think it was Senegal. But for fuck's sake, they're all military-age men. You tell me that China didn't bribe these guys? And even if they didn't, what the fuck are you guys doing down there?
No, it's all poor women and children. The children just happen to be in their mid-20s.
Yeah, and the women all have wangs.
Yeah, they're new women. Neo women with their neo vaginas.
Yeah, they're
Well,
protruding clitorises.
let's talk about old women, shall we? And by old women, I just mean more traditional women.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about that fair and balanced chick again.
No. We're talking about the main topic here.
Oh, yeah.
I want to start this conversation by saying this. If you want to know how to have successful relationships, okay, don't go listening to people who don't have successful relationships. Don't go to advice for people who've never been able to do it. And I don't care if we're talking about the manosphere or feminist fat bitches. Don't go listening to people who can't do it themselves.
I feel attacked.
Well, no offense, Jack, but if somebody came to the two of us and went, yeah, I need advice on a long-term relationship, I'd be like, I got this one, homie.
Oh, no, I'd be like, avoid it. Don't do it. Keep all your cool stuff. Stay a child forever. Be Pee Wee Herman.
See, I mean, I was right to go, I got this.
Were you, though?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because the truth of the matter is you shouldn't listen to failures on how to do something. Now, it can be that people learn from their mistakes and are like, well, this is a mistake I made and give that advice. But that's never what it tends to be.
No, and apparently that is something people are like, nah.
Well, I saw a guy today, Zuby had tweeted him out and said, this guy gives good relationship advice. And he shows a video of him and he asked the guy, so what would you advise? And the guy actually gives decent advice for if you're looking for a woman, and basically says, look for somebody who's going to support you. That's not bad advice. Unless they're supporting your drug habit.
Yeah, that'd be
You know,
bad.
a codependent meth relationship is probably not the best one to get into.
Yeah, or one that's like, you should take up Robin Banks.
Yeah. But the idea that you want a partner who's going to support you, whether you're male or female, not a bad idea. But my question was, this guy looks pretty young. How the fuck long has he been in a relationship to give men the idea of what kind of woman they should be even looking for? How is he giving advice when he's clearly never been in he can't have been in a long-term relationship? Turns out the guy's 32. I had to go look him up because nobody would answer the question.
Oh, well, maybe he's been in a relationship with a high school teacher for 20 years.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible, I suppose. But anyway, let's get to our feature article of the day. This is from the Free Press. I have no idea who the fuck they are. Never seen them before, don't really care. But this is from Olivia Reingold. The dating pool dropouts. Young men today feel that they must be 6 feet tall, make six figures, and have 6 inches downstairs to get a girlfriend. So many have given up trying. This is the 666 rule. And as you pointed out earlier, Jack, it's just because women are attracted to evil.
That's true.
I stole your joke. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay, because it's true. I was right on this. I said that before the show. But women are, they find evil sexy. Hence the popularity of people like Andrew Tate with women.
Oh, yeah.
See, this goes back a long way to when Eve first was seduced by a serpent into eating an apple or whatever that fruit was.
Probably fig, honestly.
Yeah, from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, I think it was. I don't know. I'm really rusty on my Bible. Leave me alone. So some snake comes along and is like, you should eat that. She's like, okay. So she's like, oh, that's delicious. I'm going to share the evil. And
I'll be right back.
Okay. Monkey's got poop. And who is it that shares the ring video in the movie? A chick. So obviously, women are drawn to evil. I rest my case. It's just a fact. Hey, Massive, how you doing? I only have 2 of those 6s. Damn being poor. I hear you, buddy. Oh, yeah. You going to bed, Ryan? Well, have a good sleepy night time. If you have more than 6 in a category, does it carry over to another? Unfortunately, no. Unless it's money, then yes. Money will absolve the other ones, I assure you. So, yeah, just be aware that women are drawn to evil, and they will commit it whenever they possibly can. Hey, Big Dro. Women are biologically predisposed to being seduced. Yeah, I called it gullibility, but whatever. It's a tiny girl brain thing. Bible shows us that women are the source of evil in the world. Yeah. Well, I mean, the source, probably not. The facilitator of, I would go with that. Yeah. But it's not that I'm picking on women. It's just, let's look at the numbers,
And I want to say this, for the record, I'm not some misogynist, no matter what people might want to think about me. And if you've heard the stories of my life, they all revolve around me pleasing the women in my life.
That's true.
Even my cat, for fuck's sake. So before anybody, oh, you just hate women. No, I love women. I hate stupid.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in our society today, a lot of the stupid comes from or is in relation to how we should act around women. So, to this article. If you're a regular reader of these pages, we believe in having tough conversations out loud, which is why I'm thrilled that tonight we are hosting our first ever live debate focused on the crucial question, has the sexual revolution failed? We're not going to read the rest of that because I don't care. But yes, the sexual revolution has failed. Or if you're looking at it from the kind of people who push it, no, it did exactly what it was supposed to. Exactly what it was supposed to. Destroy society as we know it.
Yeah. Yep.
We have got to get it out of our heads that men and women are the same. If you want to say we're equal under the law, I'm fine with that, but we're not the same. And we'll get into that in a few minutes here, Jack. Are you religious? The question made Jamal squirm. The answer was no, but he could tell his date wanted it to be yes. After the hour-long drive to get there to a Caribbean restaurant in Orlando, Florida, he could tell it wasn't working. I think we should just be friends, the 36-year-old security guard remembers telling the girl he had dinner with last month after they met on Facebook. That was his first date in 3 years. He says he once went 6 months without getting a single match on a dating app, even though he pays $30 in monthly fees between OkCupid, Bumble, and Hinge.
You tried too hard.
Bruh. If you count high school, when he went to the movies with a classmate, Jamal says he's been on a total of 3 dates his entire life. Jamal, bruh. I have a feeling this dude's really, really awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too.
And now, driving home from his date, it hit him like a ton of bricks. Why do I even do this at all? Because you want to get laid and you want a partner in your life. That's why.
Yeah, if he's only been on 3 dates, he's not exactly doing it.
No. And that's part of his problem. As an awkward person, you need to practice not being awkward. I don't even know what to tell you about that part. He walked into his apartment near Cape Canaveral, greeted his cats, and slumped down on his couch. I'm so far out of the loop, he told me, he realized at the time. Compared to my peers who have gone out with women and know how to interact with them, I'm too far gone. I can't learn that stuff. All right, I want to stop here for a minute.
Not with that attitude.
At the beginning of this article, we're told that, I mean, this came down to a religious question, right?
Yeah.
She's religious and he's not. I'm going to answer this. I know a lot of guys are like this. I'm going to help you. How do I interact with women? They're human beings. Stop putting them on a fucking pedestal to where you're afraid to talk to them. They're just people. That's how you just talk to them. They're not a fucking robot you have to figure out the programming to. Just fucking talk to them.
You just have to figure out how much.
Look, we've talked about this before, and this goes for men and women. On your first date, you don't bring out your full nerd flag unless you met at a nerd convention.
Yes, do not talk about your nerddom. Don't talk about masturbating. Don't talk about slot cars. Don't talk about your love of railroads. Don't talk about weird shit. All right? Stick to general, simple topics.
But that's the same with anybody. Again, unless you're at some kind of nerd convention, you're standing in line at a bank. You just don't start talking to the guy in front of you about how often you masturbate.
Yeah.
This is simple human interaction.
All right, guys, nerds, let me give you this advice. All right, you're sitting at Applebee's or wherever you took your special lady. It's your first date, and you're a little nervous. Do not instantly lead with, "Do you want me to hear about my D&D character?"
Right.
Or your video game character, unless you know for a fact, indisputable evidence that she's into that. Do not do that. First of all, nobody wants to hear about your fucking character, so don't ever talk about your character. But yeah, do not lead with the nerd shit. Don't talk about your masturbation habits. Don't talk about your weird poop that you had 2 days ago that was really funny. No, just nice, simple, general conversation topics, not anything weird.
Yeah, where'd you grow up? How many siblings do you have? What was your favorite subject in high school?
Yeah.
There's Green Lady Gray says, my husband and I met on a game. Too late for that one. Again, if in context, if you're at a BlizzCon and you want to kick up a conversation with somebody about your awesome raid on Nax, That's fine. But you don't do that in the date that Jack just described. Your friend sets you up with this chick and you guys sit down and the first thing you start talking about is your level 70 druid. Probably not the best way to go.
Not unless you want to probably get maced and have her slip out while she goes to the bathroom.
Yeah. Suddenly her phone rings. You didn't hear it, but there's an emergency she has to go for.
Yeah,
No, it was on vibrate.
I had this buddy who was a really
Oh,
nice guy,
I-
but he was a big hulking dude. He had a little bit of a hunchback. Nice guy though, really nice, just very socially awkward. We took him to a strip club. Do you know what he told the stripper when she came around? She's a beautiful woman too, very gorgeous, especially for a stripper because they usually look a little methed up. And this chick comes around, she's all super nice to us, and we're all like, all right, whatever, because she can tell we're all nerds. And then she sits down next to him, and she's like, so what do you like to do? And he immediately tells her about his Dungeons and Dragons character.
of course he did.
And I was like, this is surreal. This really happens?
JMK asks, is the art of small talk a lost art? Yes, it is for a lot of
Yeah.
people. And it's getting worse as people get more and more into their digital devices and stuff where they're not interacting in real life to begin with. You can be anybody you want to be on an app, Jack.
Yes.
And then you get into person, you have to talk to somebody and like, I've never spoke to a woman before.
Yeah, no, Rogue Thought nailed it. You want to find out about her because
Yes.
there's one thing chicks really want to talk about, that's themselves, because they're narcissistic, evil little monsters. I mean, because everybody likes talking about themselves, but
I feel a little judged right there because I love talking about me. I can't
I'm
help it.
talking about women, not your gay hair.
For the record, you're not wrong. The easiest way to make friends or to get into a relationship, ask them about themselves.
Yeah, it's everybody's favorite topic.
And you need to look, if you've never done it before, you need to practice. There's actually books and stuff that'll teach you things to ask. Buy one and read. I gave you a couple of questions earlier. Well, where were you born? What did you do growing up for fun? Although these days it'd be like, I used to go on the apps all the time.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things that you get them to talk about themselves. It's so easy to do because people love to do it.
Yep.
Anyhow, Jamal, he trails off then adds, I'm just not going to try anymore. It's not worth it. How old did they say he was? 33?
Something like
36.
that. Look,
36.
Homer Simpson said it best. Trying is the first step toward failure.
36 years old. You've been on 3 dates. I don't feel, like you said, Jack, I don't feel he's tried it all. At all. Jamal, who asked me to conceal his last name to protect his reputation at work, is one of they know. They know, homie.
Yeah, they're going to figure out who this is. Come on.
I guarantee you if he has this much trouble talking with women, he's just awkward to begin with.
Yeah, he probably smells too.
Yeah, bathe, homie. Sorry, where are we? Jamal is one of the growing number of young men who are withdrawing from the dating pool. More than 6 in 10 men aged 18 to 29 are now single, up from about 5 in 10 just 4 years ago, according to data from the Pew Research Center. Respondents
no, the pandemic did not kill all those women.
I did. Respondents give a range of reasons for their singlehood, including having more important priorities, the fact that they just like being single, or that they've gotten too old to keep trying. That's so sad. I mean, there's people who hook up in their 60s. You ain't too old to keep trying ever.
Yeah,
sorry.
This is just sad. Look, I'm almost 50. I'm single. I hate being alone, honestly. I mean, it's got its benefits because I get to have all my cool stuff. I have a stack of comic books next to me in my kitchen, but at the same time, like, there's a lot to be said for having somebody around that has to listen to you complain.
Look, man, I don't even want to know what my life would be like without Lady Monkey, man. I probably would have died by now, if we're being honest. Phoebe would have already had me as a snack.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
probably.
getting at. That's called
Or
a callback.
one of the other piles of cats you'd have. You'd be one of those weird cat people.
I mean, Jamal is a cat person, and even he came home to his cats.
Yeah, it makes me sad. He sounds so lonely.
Nothing wrong with having cats. I love cats. But come on, could you have picked somebody less cat ladyish?
Yeah, it's hard because let's face it, when you're alone like that and you're lonely, you want somebody around. And sometimes the only way to do that is to get a helpless animal that will be tied to you because they're reliant on you for food.
Yeah. For the record, we're not going to read. We're almost done with the amount of this that we're going to read. I'm going to throw these into chat so you guys can read the whole thing yourselves if you'd like to.
Oh, thank you, God Ratty, the one true God of all. Sorry, it kind of cut off that last word there. The last girl I was on a blind date was first words I told her was my poop is really bad. Not on the date. We first met at her medical office.
Well, that's fair enough then.
Yeah, you had me a little worried there. No, I had a blind date one time with this chick that was a recovering drug addict. It was a blind date. A friend of mine set her up with me, and I was like, "What?" But she immediately starts talking about how she's in NA and she got off heroin and all this. Then at some point she asked me for money. That was like 15 minutes in. And then she ended up, like, when I told her I wasn't going to give her any money, she really lost interest quickly. And she left with the cook, who was her ex-boyfriend / dealer. And I was like, dodged a bullet.
Thank you, God Randy. I will make more funny art for you to see on X, formerly known as Twitter. Oh, thank you. I like art. Funny art, at least.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we have two more things maybe three more paragraphs. Part of it boils down to this. It's hard for men to find partners at a moment when women are outpacing them at both school and work. Young women now hold 1.6 million more college degrees than men, and in a growing number of cities, including Los Angeles, DC, and New York, they make as much or more than their male counterparts. And even if they become mothers, odds are 4 in 10 will become the breadwinner of their household. What discourages me so much is that most of the women I've seen on dating sites, they want a man making as much as them, and they're making upwards of like 100,000, said Jamal, who tells me he only makes 55K a year. A lot of men are checking out, he adds. We're just tired. We're just tired of being told that we don't measure up either physically or financially. Sorry, Jack, I didn't mean to step on you there.
No, that was my fault. I didn't realize you were still going. Yeah, 55 grand for a security guard is pretty good.
Well, you're not wrong, but I'm interested in his point there.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've talked about this with divorcees.
Yeah.
Where it turns out that if a man and a woman get divorced in their 40s, a man is much more likely to get remarried and a woman is not. And when they've talked to the women about this, it almost always comes down to money. Mm-hmm. And not, hey, I want to be taken care of money, but you better be earning at least as much as I am money.
Yep.
And and while this, is talking about women making 100K, the average income, I looked this up, of women in the US is only 25,000. In a bigger city, it's going to be a lot different because you get paid more as you live there, price of living and all that shit. But what it boils down to is women refuse to take care of men financially. Yes, there's the tall thing. They want a guy who's 6 foot. I don't know about the penis thing. I haven't dated that many women, Jack, but never had somebody go, pull out your dick. That's not, frankly, if you do that in the restaurant, you're probably going to face a charge. But
yeah,
the tall guy thing, we know. They want a handsome man. They don't want a troll. And yeah, they want him making a lot of money, at least as much as they're making.
Usually more.
A lot of people who were responding to me getting in the arguments with the feminists, which we'll talk about in a minute, A lot of them were looking at it in that context, Jack, of them wanting them to make more. But if you read through the article and a lot of the things that you see on here, it's not even wanting more. It's at least as much. And that is a huge difference. Because in a world where women are outpacing guys in everything, including things like jobs and the income that they're getting, to make up for that bullshit that didn't even exist with the wage gap, men can't compete. And while a man will go out with a woman who doesn't make anywhere close to what he does, a fucking millionaire will go pick up some bitch at Hooters and be like, hey, you want to go out? And they could end up married, Jack.
Yep.
And have a long, loving life together. You won't see a woman do that. You won't see some very wealthy woman go pick up the waiter at her Applebee's. I don't know where rich people go to eat, Jack. But she's not going to go pick up the waiter there because she wants a guy who earns at least as much as she does. Real quick, Shio, thank you. So I tweeted this, but here's a dumb idea for a new sports league. Get 2 teams of jacked and buffed downsies with retard strength. Give them some HGH and metal bats. I'm curious if they could break the all-time home run distance. Yes, they could.
That would turn into like Nemesis from Resident Evil. What are you talking about?
I would watch the fuck out of that, though.
I would be terrified to be in that city because the rampage could start over ice cream or something like, I want vanilla. Ah! Okay.
Now, Spud Gun asked, didn't Sandra Bullock marry a mechanic? Yes, we're not going with outliers here, though. We're going with typical.
Entertainers and people that play sports, they're a different breed. We're not talking about them. They're outliers because that's a statistically insignificant number of people, and they live very different lives by different rules than what normal people do. Thank you, Tyrai. Night all. We'll listen to the rest later. Oh, well, have a good night, Tyrai. Appreciate it. Thank you.
The weirdest thing about the most depressing thing about the conversations I had regarding this is that nobody right there, Bad Boy says women marry up for status, not for love. Nobody in the discussion talked about love at all. And it's so depressing. It's all based on bank accounts. Like, goddamn. I mean, I guess from a practical standpoint, that makes sense, but love doesn't make sense.
Romance is dead, monkey. The sooner you accept that, the happier you're going to be.
I guess. Sandra Bullock married a rich and famous mechanic that had his own television show. Well, that's a little bit different.
Oh, yeah, that was that Jesse James dude.
Oh, is that who she married? All right. That's why she looks like she has HIV now. Anyway, that's just because biker guys, they give diseases to their women.
True.
Actually, they probably catch them from those women. Guys, why are y'all banging such nasty bitches? Your mamas are. There's pretty women out there who like riding on bikes, man. They all like it. It rumbles in just the right spot. Wow, monkey! Like that's the worst thing I've ever said on this show.
It's not even the worst thing we've said today.
Not even the worst. Yeah, you're right. We were laughing about Downsy Sports just a second ago.
Yeah, it was literally like 5 minutes ago. So,
all right. So this leads to a tweet that I saw, Jack, that started me on this whole thing to begin with, and it comes from Miss Hannah Cox, who I've mentioned before. I'm not a huge fan of, but I do follow her, mostly because she pisses me off and gives me stuff to talk about. She said, women don't need to lower their standards. Instead, we need to figure out why men, on average, are falling so far behind their female counterparts. I can answer that, and we'll get to it in a second. This is a vastly important question. Biologically, most women are simply not going to be attracted to a man that they don't see as an equal. Huh. All right, let's start with why are men falling behind? Because everything is geared towards women. That's it.
Yep. For the last 30 years.
Mm-hmm. With a major push in the last 15.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's just gotten worse. And the last 5, even worse. The only thing that stopped it was trans women. And then suddenly there was a little bit of pushback on women, but it's on trans women. Everything's been geared towards women. We have to get their college numbers up. I mean, they even mentioned in the article, Jack, the fact that women have more degrees than men do now.
Yeah, because that's who their universities are taking it in for the enrollment.
And men are just left behind because we're supposedly able to do it all on our own, which we could if we weren't being, systemically sabotaged, which we are
Hamstrung at every
100%.
turn. Yep.
So there's your answer to why. She probably would not like that answer. She's a slightly feminist, oddly sometimes conservative person. She's a weird mishmatch of ideologies. It's kind of weird to see sometimes. But to that second point, she's not wrong. Women simply aren't attracted to a guy who's not their equal, whether it's in height or whether it's in pocketbook. Is that true all the time? No. You'll still find poor couples at Walmart all the time. Sure, it happens. But especially when you're talking about as you're getting into higher incomes and stuff, a woman who's making 6 figures doesn't want a guy who's pulling low 5s because she knows she's going to be the breadwinner there. And if she can make that kind of money, she should get a guy that I know I bring him up a lot, but go watch Kevin Samuels. His stuff is still online. Go watch and see the women that went on that show. How many of them, Jack? I have a PhD, and he'd have to. Nobody gives a fuck about your PhD.
Yeah, women have been
think that
tricked. Yeah, women have been tricked into thinking that education and money is something that matters to men. It's not.
Mm-mm. And it's not that men don't want a woman with a PhD. They just don't give a shit she has one. That when I'm looking for somebody to spend the rest of my life with, it's not, how far did you get in your education? It's she got childbearing hips. And that's not even a conscious thing we think. Men are but that's what we look for. It's a biological thing. Like she looks like she could pop out some babies. Not that she has to. It's just what we are naturally attracted to. Even gay men will tell you they are attracted to breasts. They can't help it. You know why? Because it's a natural thing for us to look and go, she would feed my babies well. That's just welcome to reality. You want to help this situation? How about stop lying to people? How about just stop lying to people? All right, Jack. So let's jump into where all of the bullshit started, shall we?
Oh, sure, but real quick.
Christina
Thank you,
Buttons.
comrade. We're getting that lag again.
Go ahead. We got some kind of weird delay here. Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you, Comrade Kitty, for that feminist donation. The rich man picking a poor woman is a huge thing in romance movies. 50 Shades was a nobody girl that got the rich guy with kink added in for spice. Oh yeah, that's a cliche that's been around since time immemorial. The rich guy, that goes back to like Pride and Prejudice, all the way back through all of literature. Some dude picks some commoner, Snow White or Cinderella rather. You know, the Prince Charming effect.
Oh, is Rumble still up? I have an alert here that says there was a problem. Huh. All right, never mind. Anyhow, it's also a thing that happens. I mean, it does happen. Mostly because, I mean, if we're going back in history, Jack, men were the people working and women weren't.
Yeah.
I mean, other than, okay, we went to the same country clubs because our dads were rich. If you were out there looking for a woman, you were probably going to find a woman who didn't make as much as you. because they didn't. It's just, and now that they make more in a lot of cases, and if those numbers of college degrees or anything to go by, they're going to be doing it a lot more real soon. The real question isn't how do we, you know, how do we fix this for men, because they don't want to fix it for men. The question becomes, how do we make it workable, Jack? How do we
Yeah.
make it workable? So anyway, Christina Buttons is one of the people I started following because she's against the whole cutting off the wee-wees of little children.
Oh yeah, good.
And I
for her.
support that a lot. But she said this: I didn't decide to exclusively date tall men for some arbitrary reason. It's because I'm only sexually attracted to men that are at least several inches taller than me, which is fair. I can't tell her what she should or should not be attracted to. I find that kind of nonsense asinine. And I mean, again, biologically speaking, when men are the hunter-gatherer protector, typically the bigger person's going to be the better protector.
No,
It's
it's
not. Go ahead.
a top shelf fetish. They just want to see us grab things off the top shelf.
Well, that's so they can see my ass when I stretch up to grab it. They're like,
Oh.
ooh, monkey butt. I'm just saying. But it's another one of those things that just seems to be a natural thing. Women like taller guys. Sorry, shorter guys. That doesn't mean you'll never find love. Lots of short guys eventually find love. But if you're 6 foot or taller, you have a better chance than somebody who's 5'2". Unless the 5'2" guy has a really big wallet. So I just asked, what about the income requirements? Would you date a guy you basically support? Now, she never answered this question, which I really wish she would have. Because you can make the claim, okay, I'm just not attracted to somebody who's short or tall or fat or thin or has 4 eyes instead of 2. There's tons of, okay, yeah, that's what you're attracted to. But before you ever see their wallet, you know that part of the attraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know if you're sexually attracted to somebody looking at them. So the wallet thing, that comes in later. That's you either subconsciously going, ooh, he doesn't make enough, so that's not good enough for me, or purposefully doing that.
Yeah.
So which is it? Now, I think it's a biological thing. You know, again, the provider part of our nature. But if we're getting into a world where we're all equal, Jack, we're all equal, well, then that shouldn't matter. Right?
Theoretically.
We're not talking about, oh, I'm not attracted to that guy because he has a vagina. This is, I'm not attracted to him because of his wallet size. And this brings us to our feminist of the evening. Why should women date guys who can't even hold down a career, LOL? This is just ridiculous. We're not your mommy. All right. Fair enough. You're not our mommy. But I asked this person, Jack, I took all of those words and just changed them to men. What about, why should men date women who can't hold down a career? And they didn't answer, by the way. They changed the subject. This person accused me of being an incel and told me that I needed to work on myself if I wanted to get a girlfriend or a wife, which one of the funniest exchanges I've had in a long time.
Yeah, I think your wife would be really opposed to you having a girlfriend or another wife.
I was like, I'm going to go ask my wife of 30 years what she thinks about your dating advice.
I think your grandkids might find it fun to have another grandma, but your older kids might think it's weird.
Well, this is a funny thing that happens whether you're talking with men or women who have no idea how to actually have successful relationships. When they talk to somebody who has, they just can't believe it. Because she went on to tell me repeatedly, nuh-uh, there's no way you have that, or you wouldn't be online right now. Which is kind of she said to me, if I had a happy, healthy marriage, I wouldn't be online right now. So I just said, does that mean you don't have a happy, healthy relationship because you're online right now?
Yeah.
This is what I was getting at. Don't take advice from people who are unhappy and can't do the things that you want.
There's so many miserable people out there too.
I want to shift a little bit to Satsu's latest video. I don't know if you watched it.
No, I haven't had time.
He's been doing a series where he's reacting to our relationships over there on Reddit.
Yeah.
And
his videos are pretty good. You guys should check them out if you haven't.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's Ty the Tuber here on YouTube.
I'll drop the link in a minute.
So this guy, he writes in, he's actually, this one is from Am I the Asshole rather than Our Relationships.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, would I be an asshole if I kicked my pregnant wife out of the house? That's setting you up for failure with that question, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I need context on that one.
Immediately your answer is like, yes, of course you are.
That depends. Is it your kid?
Yes,
it's not your kid.
It's his kid.
Oh. Well, I mean, what'd she do? Did she hit him? She cheat on him?
Nope.
She gonna get an abortion?
She tested him.
Okay, that's a douche move.
He says that she's become more crazy as she's gotten pregnant. And then her and a friend of hers decided to set him up. They had another friend of hers that he doesn't know hit on him at a bar. And he's like, no, thanks. And he goes home and she just gives him this big old hug and she's crying. How could I ever have doubted you?
What?
Yeah. Her and her friend came up with this idea to test his faithfulness.
Was it the friend that was trying to bang him? Because that might just be her trying to get laid.
This is abusive.
Yeah,
absolutely kick that bitch out of the house.
Yeah, that's psychological abuse. And she needs to stop listening to her dumbass friends.
It's hard enough for relationships to get off the ground to begin with. And then you have shit like this. Oh, I forgot to tweet out the stream, didn't I? Whoops.
Yeah.
And thank you for those of you who have share, because I'm too dumb to do it on my own. And please consider donating to Jack or myself.
Indeed. Chat, both chats have people dropping links. Thanks, One Rebel and Stargazer and Dark and Ex-Bubba Hotep, and everybody else is dropping links.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Over on the Streamlabs, sorry, I didn't mean that so dismissive. I was waiting for this to load. Thank you, seriously, guys. Thank you so much. Keldrig, thank you. Honestly, Monkey, it's impressive how you've maintained a marriage and raised a family over 30 years while still being an incel. How do you do it, sir? Easy. By not actually being one. I'm not an incel. I'm only accused of being one on TV. Somebody said in one of the comments, going back to the tweets, that maybe 20 or 30 years ago, it was easier to maintain a relationship. It's not. It isn't. It's never been easy to maintain relationships like that. Maybe back in the day when people couldn't get divorced, and you kind of had to, and then it was
they just
easier.
Murdered each other with poison.
Fair enough. But it's never been easy. And I think a big part of the problem is that's what people are looking for is ease.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of why people break up now is because it's easy to do. No fault divorce. But even when dating, the whole level up system where you're like, oh, I could just leave him for someone better. I could go on any of a dozen apps and find somebody else to hook up with.
Sure.
We live in such a throwaway culture that people do not fight for things that matter.
Well, why would you when it is easier now than ever to at least start dating?
Yeah.
Because back in the day, you either had to know them from work or a friend would set you up or you guys went to church together and your actual dating pool was really small. You now literally have the whole fucking world.
Yep.
You can swipe left on 50 different people in a single day. Nah, fuck that bitch. No. Ooh, she's cross-eyed. That bitch got 3 chins. There's tons of people to choose from. But what the problem, once you get to the part where you're dating, everybody wants it to be simple. It's not.
No, there's going to be situations that are going to be taxing and difficult and will test your very core. But the things that are worthwhile are worth fighting for.
Yes.
And we live in a very disposable culture where if something breaks, you throw it away, or if something's got a little scuff on it, you toss it.
Yep.
That's not going to work in long-term relationships. You're not going to be happy that way with that attitude. You have to actually put in effort, compromise occasionally, and go through some really rough shit, and you'll be stronger for it.
Satsu said on his video, nobody has a perfect marriage. And I disagree with that slightly. My wife and I have a perfect marriage, but it's not perfect in the sense that it's all rainbows and sunshines, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect in the fact that it works for us. And that's the real, you guys want to know the secret to a relationship? It's finding what works for you. It really is. That's what it boils down to. What you personally can put up with and still maintain the love in the relationship. That's it. It's what's perfect for you. And if you're out there this is the whole idea of giving relationship advice is insane for that very reason. I can tell you guys how I deal with stuff. I can tell you what me and Lady Monkey have been through. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to apply to you.
Yeah.
Look, I have my limits, Jack, and I'm a big pushover. I really am. Ask anyone, Monkey's a pushover. But there are certain hard limits. Like, nope, that's too far. And my limits are going to be different than yours. Not a damn thing works for me. So there you go. Then that's all there is. But yeah, it really is. It comes down to what works for you and your missus, of course, or your mister. I don't know. I don't know you. The idea that feminists, though, that's my favorite part of this whole thing. Feminists out there talking about how men need to behave. Jack, how many times have we seen feminists actually find one of these men who act like they want them to, only to realize that they're not at all what they want?
Oh, all the time. I want a guy that's sensitive and shares his emotions. Then you got some guy dumping his purse out on your coffee table every day, weeping over sad movies. No, chicks hate that shit. They refuse to admit it most of the time, but they absolutely hate that shit. They don't stay with those guys. That's why male feminists are like the chameleon rapists of the human world.
If they wanted that, they would be dating women.
Yeah, they'd be lesbians.
Yeah. And that's what your friends are for. And look, a guy will go to that romantic movie with you, and as you cry, hold your arm and all. But if he starts weeping right along with you, you're going to lose respect for him. It just happens. We've seen it time and time again.
Yep.
Men need to be more emotional. Why that bitch crying? We see it all the time. All the time. Women don't want what they say they want because they don't know what they actually fucking want. Because they've been lied to over and over again by feminists.
That and tiny girl brains.
Real quick kind of segue. If you guys haven't watched Shoe on Head's latest video, we talked about her last one, Jack, where she almost got it on male loneliness.
Yeah.
She has a new one where people had responded to her, and holy shit. You'd have thought she said kill babies in the street and drink their blood.
Well, I won't put that past her.
It was fucking insane. check it out. It's actually a really good video. I know a lot of you don't like her, so by all means, don't watch it. But if you're at all interested, you should check it out and see the fucking responses she got to that video. And that's where we are when it comes to men. Men don't have any problems, which was one of the things that was said a lot. How can they have problems? Well, because you guys have been beating them down for 30 years, probably closer to 60 now, Jack.
Yeah.
For being honest about it. Going back to the 60s is when this shit started.
It didn't really pick up until I think the mid 70s. They really started hammering this shit. This the self-esteem movement.
It's like every decade they kick it up a notch.
Oh yeah, because you always have to top what the people before you did.
I think Shoe on Head is hot. I think she's okay, but go watch her if you. I mean, I would prefer you watch her for the content, but shit, man, I like watching pretty women.
She's getting old.
She's getting married. I just saw that on Twitter. She's engaged.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And I don't mean to speak out of school, but this is another one of the problems I think is going on with relationships today. How do you marry her after some of the stuff she posted about her last boyfriend?
I don't know. Why don't we ask Logan Paul about?
Yeah, the Logan Paul thing with him and Dylan Dennis and their fight coming up, and Dylan just having a field day with what I don't even remember her name. That whore that Logan's marrying. How do you marry somebody after that? That'd be hard to take. I guess make sure you never go to their social media. Probably just stay off social media completely to begin with.
Yeah, that's why I would go with somebody that doesn't understand modern technology. Like, I had to go to the jungles of Angkor Wat to find this native chick, but she doesn't have social media and she's not a whore.
I know we're supposed to be in an era of time where you're not supposed to care about her number, and there's still a pride thing there, isn't there?
Yeah, well, and nobody wants to marry the bicycle, the town bicycle.
Even if she was only with one guy, if she's out there talking about their intimate, dirty shit online, and it comes across your desk, I'd have trouble with that.
Yeah, I do too.
Am I too old-fashioned?
No, I don't think so, because I have similar standards. Like, I'm not above dating somebody that's, been around, but I would need to know about it first. So that's not a surprise,
I feel like even if I knew about it and it wasn't a surprise, somebody tweeting it at me would set me off.
Yeah, I don't know if it would bother me that much.
Nah.
I'd just be like, yeah, fuck it, I'm fucking that every night. No, see, I don't know. I think I'd have to be in the situation or presented with the situation before I could give an honest answer as to how I would deal with that.
I guess
it's just never come up. I've dated some real skanks before, but I never had sex with them because I don't want it itching funny. I want to find out a lot. So a lot of the whores, they hide it, so you got to kind of test out the waters. That's why I don't bang a chick on the first date if you can avoid it. Because first of all, if she's putting out on the first date, she is a whore. But if she's waiting for the third date rule, you have time to get some info out of her and kind of judge the field.
I also think it's kind of weird that people put that kind of stuff online. Look, here on the show, I've mentioned I've had sex with my wife. I have 3 kids. Of course, I've had sex with my wife. I've never really told you guys anything I do with my wife because I have respect for both her and myself. I don't understand these women who are out there like that. The chick that Logan Paul's marrying, there's a video of her talking about how much she needs dick. Do you have no self-respect?
Apparently not.
I mean, she's literally rolling around on a bed talking about how She's been celibate, chaste. You've been chaste. Would you people stop fucking up that word? Celibate is about marriage, you idiots. Excuse me. That's why priests take both a vow of celibacy and chastity. Anyhow, that's my own personal fight. I know I've lost it, but I'm not going to quit fighting, Jack.
Yeah, you're not gonna win that one. Oh, hey, real
I'm
quick.
right though.
Yeah, you are. Thank you, Keldrick. Counterpoint: if she had said kill babies in the street and drink their blood, the reaction would have been much tamer. Yeah, that's actually sadly fair. It's about she just believes in abortion, man.
Yeah, so anyway, she's rolling around talking about how she's been celibate for 3 months and she just needs a big old sausage. And if you know somebody, send them to her door.
That's creepy.
What the fuck how do you do that and have self-respect? How do you do that and expect anybody to respect you?
Well, nobody respects whores, let's be honest.
And I don't want to hear the bullshit because, well, men are no. When the fuck have you seen a guy rolling around on his bed going, I just need puss. I need the puss so bad. I need a good old taco. If anybody knows a muffin I can munch, send them my way.
I would immediately assume that they were in disguise dating Rosario Dawson.
Maybe.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Man whores are not respected either. It doesn't happen on the way that it does with women. And when it's women, we're told we have to accept it. Yeah, no, hey, they are just living their life, being their true self. Well, why are we encouraging that kind of behavior? You want to be like that? Be a hoe in private. What's wrong with being a hoe in private?
Because nobody can keep anything secret anymore. It's all got to be on film.
I don't understand it, man. I masturbate because so many women aren't as good as my hand. Bruh, you need to find different women.
Well, it depends on the quality of women you're seeing.
I can't imagine being, finishing the act and being like, that didn't even feel as good as my hand.
Sometimes they just lay there like a sack of wheat.
Tell her she needs to do some Kegels, man.
Yeah.
Do some Kegels in the middle. Booker and Rosario Dawson broke up, and yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad for her.
He shaved his beard.
How do you keep up that pretense? Be like, yeah, we're totally dating.
I mean, it depends on what she was getting out of it, man.
I suppose.
Oh, okay. The point of tonight, just to bring this up, or to wrap this main part up here. 1, don't listen to people who aren't doing better than you. 2, the problems that are going on is because society has purposefully done them. Let's just be honest about what's going on. We've known that women are excelling over men in education for a decade now, Jack. Mm-hmm. It's not a secret.
Yeah.
It's not something we just found out. And what are they? Even with that, they're still pushing the women thing. And no matter how much you guys try to fight it, men and women are different. Equal rights is one thing, but you're never going to change the biological nature of us where, yeah, women don't want to take care of a man. You might find a couple, Jack, some sugar mama, but generally speaking, they don't want to be your provider. And if you're talking about, especially once you start getting into people who make $100,000, Jack, they're talking on that app. These women are making $100,000. Men don't generally hit the 6-figure mark until they're in their 40s.
Yeah.
In their 40s. So even if you have all the other things they want, you got a big old schlong, you're handsome, you're 6'3", you're still not going to find a woman until you're in your 40s because you don't make enough money.
And one of the things I've noticed they neglect to point out is that a lot of men in that position go for younger women. They don't go for
Yep.
people on par with them. They just go for people they find attractive. And that's not going to be some 45-year-old career woman.
Nope. They're going to go for that 20-year-old Hooters waitress.
Yeah, which is something Kevin Smith hammered over and over again, that you need to mitigate your expectations because you're being unrealistic. Why would he want 45-year-old you when he could have the 25-year-old model?
And as much as this article was about men, it's hitting women too. Because these women can't find the men they're looking for. Because they don't fucking exist.
Yeah, they have completely unrealistic expectations.
I need a 25-year-old who's making at least $100,000, is 6 foot tall, and has a big old schlong. Good luck. I wouldn't call it a unicorn, Jack, but it's certainly a zebra. It's a zebra in a field of horses.
I don't know. If your penis is striped, you should probably see a doctor.
No, I don't think their penises are striped. Are their penises striped?
I don't know. I'm just pointing it out. If your penis is striped, go see a doctor.
Would somebody look that up? Do zebras have striped penises?
I'm not
That's
putting
got to
that
be
in my browser history.
that's got to be answered online somewhere.
I'm sure it is, but I'm not finding
All right,
it.
hang on.
because
Okay,
there's a lot
Google.
of weird shit in my browser history already.
Do zebras have striped penises?
According to the Naked Scientists, the male zebra has stripes on his penis, as the female does not.
Wait, the male zebra has stripes on his penis as the female does not. The female shouldn't have a penis.
Well, it's a feminine penis. It's a trans zebra, monkey.
All right.
It's very inclusive of Google to say that. So I was inadvertently correct.
This is an article from 2003. Actually, the true test to differentiate a male zebra from a female is this: the male zebra has stripes on his penis as the female does not. I think this is a joke website because once you realize one of them doesn't have a penis, I think you've distinguished which one's male and which one's female.
Oh, you'd like to think that, but these days, the zebras are getting a lot of cosmetic surgery, and
I
they had the
guess.
full operation.
Yeah. So, guys, it's getting bad out there. This is why I've been beating this drum for a while. It's not just men who are fucked, it's women who are fucked, which means we're all fucked. And the way we fix it is by being honest. Just being honest. Women, you are the majority. You have more college degrees, you're making more money than us. You're the oppressor now. You're the oppressor class. And you're telling men, put up with it. Just put up with it. Women who never put up with any kind of oppression because they were born into this world, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about women who were born in the 1920s. We're talking about women who were born in 2000. You men deserve it for all the oppression. Bitch, you ain't never been oppressed. All you're doing is actually taking the thing that you said men did that you hate and getting your revenge for shit that never happened to you. Ever. No, those fucking men. One of the things that was said a lot to Shoe on Head in her video was that fuck these guys. I have to live my life as a sexual object. You know what happens every time a woman looks at a man and goes, how would you like to be treated like a sexual object? Men go, cool. I saw this thing not too long ago, Jack, where this woman set it up so that her man, who insisted he would like to be catcalled, she set it up so he got catcalled.
Okay. And he's like, I've never had so many compliments.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
That
He came
probably
home.
made that dude's weak.
He came home beaming because he just got all kinds of compliments. Women have been taught that being sexual creatures is wrong. That getting attention for being beautiful is wrong. Why?
Because ugly feminists are jealous.
Real quick, thank you, Chaos One. Here late, I've been adopted by my sister's cat. I keep telling him he's adopted. He just digs the claws in deeper and purrs louder. Send help.
He's making
No.
biscuits.
You've been claimed, my friend. You've been claimed. Oh my God. Phoebe got out the other day. Actually, I let her out. But I'm bringing her back in the house, and some fucking jackass going down a highway that's near us, Jack, just gunning his really fucked up engine. And Phoebe got scared. So her claws went into my back.
Oh, that's not cool.
She didn't try to run or anything because Dad had her. She was scared, so she held on tighter. I'm like, oh, you're fine. I got you. Oh, anyhow. So, yeah.
Take the human, leave me. I'm small.
I blame feminism and frankly communism for all of this shit.
Yeah.
This is where we are. It has all been the social justice push. It has all been to destroy society as we know it. That guy, going back to the Tucker interview down there in Argentina, he mentions this as, the whole social justice thing is just from the communists. It's their class warfare wasn't working in places, so they switched it up to racial warfare or sex warfare, whatever it is, anything they can do to divide people. And that's what it is. That's all it is. And we've remade our society based on it. And because of that, we have a lot of really stupid people out there. Oh, well. I had one lady tell me, Jack, that men should have to make more because they get women pregnant, and women have to do 90% of the unpaid labor that they could be in their career.
Oh, I'm so tired of hearing about that.
Like, sweetheart, nobody made you get pregnant. No, nobody said that you had to lay down for that. Oh, but I think guys were involved. I'm like, yeah, but you're blaming men for problems that you can't really blame them for.
Yeah, maybe you should be a little more selective with who you let finish inside of you.
Yeah.
Dirty whore.
How many times has man here had a compliment from a woman that you're not in a relationship with? Okay, well, let's do it as a poll there. I'm not actually doing the poll. I know we can, but I'm too lazy. Gentlemen in the audience, give me a 1 if you've ever been complimented by somebody you weren't in a relationship with. That includes your own mother. And give me a 2 if you've never gotten that. I'm a beautiful man. I've gotten compliments before, so I'm a 1 on that.
Yeah, I've gotten compliments too. Usually trivial shit, but it always feels good to get complimented.
Absolutely. It's looking about even a few more 1s than 2s. Now, how many of you have gotten complimented as often as women have gotten complimented? Jack, I've been complimented, but nothing near what I've seen women get compliments on. I've seen ugly bitches walking down the street, fat, just swinging back and forth, and then get catcalled.
Yeah, it's gross and weird.
Hey, baby, stop it. Stop it.
Well, usually it's like, hey.
Yeah. So, no, actual catcalls, man. I've seen, there's guys who like chubby chicks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know a couple of them. That's weird, but hey, you do you. You guys like the fatties. That's fine. We're not competing.
All right. Completely new poll. Stop answering the last one. How many of you men out there have received a compliment from somebody you're not in a relationship with? Even familial. How many of you have gotten a compliment in the last month? Give me a 1 if yes. Give me a 2 if no. My guess would be we're going to get a whole fuck ton of 2s, Jack.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't happen to us very often. It's not something that... And when it does happen, it boosts your ego for days, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, whole lot more 2s this time, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what do you think would happen if I asked women that?
If they're being honest, they're gonna probably have received a compliment.
For the record, you're all beautiful people, so There you go. Now all of you got it. You're all beautiful. One, weight loss on my end. Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. But the point being, it just doesn't happen to us. And it happens to women so often that they're annoyed by it. They're angered by it. We had the Marvel show She-Hulk, where to explain how she already knows how to control her anger. Part of it's because she gets catcalled. She can control this monster inside her that has just suddenly been thrust upon her, something that her cousin had to fight to learn how to do as best he could. Go live in the middle of Nepal or wherever the fuck he went for the one movie.
Yeah.
Right? To learn how to control this. But she can do it because guys told her how cute she was as she walked down the street. For real? That's what women think is a big deal, honestly. Oh my God, somebody told me I was attractive. Shut up. That's not a real problem. It's just not. And we can go back to that video from what was like 2017 where that chick, that one reporter, walking down the street, strutting her stuff in her whore outfit. And like 3 guys told her, hey, you look nice today.
Yeah, look, those guys were obviously trying to hit on her, and they probably would have freaked out if she responded. But that chick was not that attractive.
And she didn't, yes, 10 hours of walking, Faithless, 10 hours.
Yeah.
And not through really nice parts of town. And one of the ones that they counted as catcalling was just a guy saying hi to her and saying, I hope you had a good, hi, hope you're having a good day.
Yeah.
That fucking bastard. How dare you? But hey, it'll help you control your Hulk rage if that happens to you, fellas. See, what Bruce Banner didn't know, Jack, is the way to learn to control his emotions like that was to go to a gay club and get hit on. And then he'd be like, oh, these guys are hitting on me. Now I can control anger. Why does that anger you?
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, you guys, you just don't understand. Yeah, we do, because we don't get complimented. It's true. And when we do, we like it. You guys have been taught that it's wrong to get complimented. What kind of fucking world do we live in, Jack? It's wrong to get complimented.
We live in a world of sad, miserable people that want everyone else to feel like they do.
For fuck's sake. How dare you? How dare you? The other one is mansplaining. Men explain things to me that I already know. Did you stop him and tell him you knew? I understand this. For the record, men do that to each other too.
Yeah.
But no, they do it to women, so it's horrible. No, they're just some people who are like that. I've had bosses, Jack, like, yes, I already know this. And you know what I do? I shut the fuck up, let him finish, and then I go about my day and let it go because I don't care. Because every minor thing like that is not the most horrible thing ever to happen to me.
Well, you live a very charmed life if that is the worst thing that ever happens to you.
And that's the truth of this, is that these people live such a charmed life. Women in America are like the most protected species on the planet. And they have to make up bullshit. Manspreading. That guy sits so he doesn't crush his balls. I can't put all my packages on the seat. And that's where they are, man. They have to find things to bitch about. In the case of what we've been talking about this whole time, it's that this guy that they might really like, that they find attractive, he doesn't make enough money. I make plenty for both of us. He doesn't make enough. You know what kind of first world problem that is?
Yeah.
You make 100K, but the guy, he better make at least as much as me. Do you realize what a first world problem you have in that little situation?
Right.
There are guys out there who are eating dirt tonight with their wife and their children. That's what they can afford. And your bitch ass is, no, I need somebody who makes more money than me. Shut up. And I get it, Jack. I really do think that's a biological component there, but fuck. You women wanted all this equality. You got all this equality. And if you want that equality, you got to start acting like we do. But you can't.
Oh no, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
Women can't act like men. You're not men. Men can't act like women. And when you see the ones who try, it's just sad. When you see some woman who's trying to be all butch and manly, it's just sad. My favorite of those is when one of them tries to be butch and manly and steps up to a dude and hits him and he knocks her out in 1 second.
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking hit me. And for the record, YouTube, I'm not advocating violence. I am advocating defending yourself. Just saying. Anyhow, so Jack, when was the last time you were complimented, man?
It's been a while. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Yeah, look, I'm married and my wife is very kind to me. She compliments me pretty regularly, but it is, few and far between where I compliment her easily several times a day. You know why? Because that matters to her and it doesn't matter to me as much.
Yeah. Oh, that's just complimented just now. Mickey said I have a lovely voice.
You do have a lovely voice.
Oh, thank you.
My wife is super sweet. That's awesome. That's good. But it's not a prerequisite for us men to need to be told how great we are. Especially when you go ahead. I'm sorry.
It helps.
Oh, it does. But for us, it's typically about the things we do rather than how we look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that one guy that I mentioned earlier from the Zuby video. You want a woman who's encouraging you to go out there and do the things that you want to do. That's actually really good advice if you can find that woman. And that's what men need. We need basically a cheering section. I don't need to be told how cute I am. I am cute, by the way. But, compliment me on the things that I do. Absolutely. And that's the difference between men and women. Because we've also seen these women, Jack, when they do stop getting these compliments and stuff, what do? They bitch about it.
Of course they do.
That Lena Dunham thing where Odell Beckham Jr. is sitting there at a table minding his own fucking business. And she comes in and he doesn't even look up because he's playing on his phone. I bet he'd have looked up if I was a busty blonde. He didn't care about you. He did exactly what you feminists want. Ignored you. Treated you like he would any man who entered the room because you are kind of manly looking. But obviously it was because you weren't hot enough. Well, if you were hot enough, wouldn't that be an issue if he suddenly paid attention to you? Shouldn't you have been complimenting him for that? He didn't even look up from his phone to pay attention to who you were. No. I'm just too ugly. You are too ugly, by the way, Lena. And nobody can help you with that. You could drop a couple of those people you've been eating, and you'd be a lot better off. But we've seen articles written. I'm not getting complimented like I used to. Nobody cares. You told people not to care. You told people not to do that. Fuck off. Stop being so contradictory. The whole problem is feminism lies to you about what you want. I'm starting to see them again, Jack, these memes that pop up with women being like, what dumbass woman told women they needed to go to work?
Right?
What dumbass woman forced us into the labor force? Feminist. That's your answer.
Well, you don't know what you got till it's gone, as Cinderella once said.
Indeed. Don't know what you got till it's gone. It's all I remember of that song.
You gotta smoke a lot more cigarettes before you sound like that dude.
I will never sound like that dude. Plus, he had a much higher voice than mine too.
Yeah, but weirdly, he sounded like a 3-pack a day smoker with a
Yeah.
high pitched voice.
Yeah.
It's a very unique sound.
Rosie the Riveter. That was a very specific time of the war at that point. I mean, they needed women in the workforce because there were no men to do the job. The men were all overseas fighting. And when they got back, you know what happened? Most of them went back to their traditional roles. Women were like, all right, I'll go home, and the guy, he can go rivet.
Yeah, because most of the women really didn't like the majority of the jobs they were doing.
Nope. They were doing it because it was necessary for the time.
Yeah.
And it's not until the 60s. Sorry, go ahead.
No, they had bills to pay. That's why they did those jobs.
They had bills to pay, and the country needed them to be, they needed somebody filling the factory jobs.
Yep.
Millions and millions of men went overseas that had been doing those jobs. And we don't really see that rise again until the 60s, when we suddenly have the second wave of feminism. Women need to go to work. Why? And look where we are, man. Look what social justice did to us. Now we need two income families. You think that's on accident?
Nope.
I don't know if you guys know this, but if they keep you poor, it's easier to control you. It's easier to make you envious. Envy is a bitch. Envy is a horrible thing, and it is one of the primary tools of the communists. But on that, I mean, I don't want a traditional housewife life personally, but I also don't want a feminist medal for choosing a different lifestyle. I do wonder how many women say that. Mickey, I don't remember how old you are, if I ever did know. But I know a lot of women who say that kind of stuff when they're young. It is really weird to find a woman in like her 40s who's like, oh, I am so glad I focused on my career. You don't see that as much. How do you know you don't want the traditional life? Have you tried it? I'm just asking. And for all, tell me to mind my own fucking business. But how do you know? Is it just because the thought of housework sucks? I'll be honest with you, Jack. If it's like, hey, you don't have to do any work except clean the house and cook dinner, I'd be like, that's not a bad trade-off.
That's really not.
But anyhow, feminism has lied to you. That you need to take away from this more than anything else. Feminism has lied to you, especially you women. Women don't want you to act like feminists tell you to act. Stop it. You want to get out there? Here's two things you need to do. One, work on your interpersonal skills. Talk to people more. Just talk. Learn how to speak to people without, coming off creepy and them running. And
or don't, depending on what you want to do.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Or don't, depending on how you want to play it. I mean,
well, we're going with the notion that these guys want to find love.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot what we were talking about there.
Yeah. So interpersonal skills, work on that. And two, stop listening to the feminists. Feminists hate men.
Yes.
It's kind of like how the fashion industry is run by the two groups of people least likely to find women attractive. Women and gay men.
Yeah, true.
Why would you take fashion advice from people who don't find women attractive?
Yeah, if somebody calls themselves a feminist, a communist, or they're not in a relationship and they seem to chase away partners, those are people not to listen to because they don't know what they're talking about.
Faithless says men didn't ruin your life, feminism did. 100%. And they're ruining everybody's lives. And before anybody goes, wait, but what about, remember intersectionality? It's everywhere. It's got its dirty little fucking fingers in everything.
Yeah, remember we talked about a feminist math class before?
Yep.
So, Yeah, that shit has weaseled its way into everything.
Feminism has ruined us, and we need to beat it back with a stick. Plus, women like to sabotage other women for their own gains. I mean, there's
True.
part of that. That tends to be more interpersonal than on such a massive scale like this. This is all about the class warfare, men versus women. We now have the biggest population, the women, making the most money, earning the most degrees, doing the best by every metric, and they're still the oppressed, Jack.
It's never enough. Revolution can't end.
Can't end. They got to beat men back. Stop listening to feminists. They're retarded.
Yeah.
I haven't called them retarded yet, and it's true. They're retarded.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, they're very similar to communists, so
Well, they are
it's
communists.
kind of a given.
If we're being honest, they are communists. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap up here. I don't think I'm going to do a game stream. I'm getting back to gaming, Jack. I promise I am. But it's been taxing just to get these done. I saw an argument the other day. I was watching a Destiny stream, and they were arguing about how hard it is to be a streamer, and they were comparing this to like regular work. Anyone who said that should have been struck by lightning when they said it.
Yeah.
It's not that this isn't taxing at all, but I would never compare this even to the jobs I've already done. Even my last job, which was pretty easy.
Yeah. I mean, this is the best kind of job you could get. You can sit on your ass and talk and bitch about things. It's great.
And I just couldn't help but laugh. I'll have to talk to you about it offline. There's a lot of Destiny things that I want to talk to you about.
Uh-oh.
No, nothing real horrible. He's still a little liberal, but it's amazing to watch his journey as he's stopped being such a child about everything.
Yeah.
And actually engaging in conversations and stuff. It's interesting. But ladies and gentlemen, we are wrapping up here. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for the donations. You guys are awesome. Thank you for sharing when I didn't. I appreciate it every night, but on nights like this, thank you so very much. Jack, anything you want to share out there?
Yeah, I'll drop a link to a video. For some reason, this one really got a lot of attention compared to, because I haven't posted anything in a while, probably. So, but yeah, I'll drop a link. As always, thank you so much for the donations. You guys are awesome. Keeps us going. Keeps the show going because we have power and internet. So, yeah. Thank you, guys.
Indeed. I was gonna give some wisdom, Jack, but my brain went, nah. It's always nice when my brain does that. Gentlemen out there who are looking for love, don't give up. Don't give up. I know it's hard. But it's not impossible. And the world's not as bad as you might think. But if everybody gives up, it will be. How's that for some parting words?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, that's pretty good.
If you give up, then yeah, of course, everything's going to shit. There's lots of good women out there. Not all of them have been infected by this shit. A lot of them have.
Most of them.
But a lot of that seems to be at least finally snapping back a little bit, Jack. Jack, thanks for joining me.
Always glad to be here.
Guys, have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, let's see a song about bad women. Feminists suck, and they're usually fat and stupid.
It's true.
And sometimes they stink, and they hate men because they look like them. Bye, guys.